In the last video, we talked about the importance of defense zones and how the price of Ethereum would react upward upon reaching them. And that's exactly what happened. The same thing played out across other assets, like Polkadot, where we anticipated an upward reaction after contact with the zone. And that's exactly what happened. In today's video, we're going to explain why we remain positive about the entire crypto ecosystem and why we're placing so much importance on the structure I'm showing you on screen for Bitcoin, along with its defense zone. We'll also be analyzing MicroStrategy, focusing on the significance of structures like this creek and this trend line. Let's start by talking about the latest news, which many of you may already be aware of. MicroStrategy could be included in the Nasdaq 100 index. This rumor has been gaining traction over the past several days. According to the usual schedule, the index is expected to announce tomorrow how the composition will change in the periodic rebalancing, which would take effect on December 20th. Tomorrow is a key day, as it's widely anticipated that MicroStrategy will be added to the Nasdaq 100. Why is this important? Let's take a look. First, let's dive into the chart. As many of you who have followed us for a while know, at Crypto Insight, we place significant importance on MicroStrategy's chart. This is largely due to the high correlation between MicroStrategy and Bitcoin. The reason for this correlation lies in the fact that MicroStrategy was one of the first publicly traded companies to invest heavily in Bitcoin and adopt it as its primary reserve asset. Over the years, the company has consistently accumulated Bitcoin, while its founder has actively defended and promoted Bitcoin as a hedge against fiat currency depreciation. That's why we give MicroStrategy so much relevance in our analysis at Crypto Insight. And many of you may recall how, through cross-analysis, MicroStrategy has often given us early signals that turned out to be critical for Bitcoin's price movements. Now, without further ado, let's take a closer look at MicroStrategy's chart. On the 1-hour time frame, we can observe a reverse impulse that highlights the corrective inverse pattern we're currently experiencing. This pattern includes a W, a Y, and yes, an upward Z, which I'll show you remains intact. Zooming in on this Z, we can see the defense zone we've marked here. Notice how this defense zone is entirely untouched, indicating that the Z pattern is still valid. This strengthens our perspective to maintain a bullish outlook, not just for MicroStrategy, but for the entire crypto ecosystem. What else can we see on this chart? Look at how we've drawn this creek, which we're evaluating as part of the formation of a bullish accumulation process. This means we're expecting this accumulation phase to eventually break upward, continuing the bullish trajectory we've been discussing. Now, let's take a look at the importance of the news and how we can tie it into the chart. Take this latest price increase, for example. It began just 2 days ago on December 10th and has delivered an impressive 17% gain in price. What can we associate this with? That's right, this news we've been discussing about MicroStrategy's potential inclusion in the Nasdaq index. Therefore, this development is already priced in, and what usually happens in cases like this, you probably know the famous saying, buy the rumor, sell the news. So while we remain optimistic about both MicroStrategy and the broader crypto ecosystem, it's reasonable to expect that tomorrow, after the official announcement, or even if no announcement is made, MicroStrategy's price could experience a short-term pullback. That said, we would still expect it to resume its upward trajectory afterward. I've already shown you the structures we need to monitor to ensure this scenario plays out. At the same time, it's important to note that even if we see a correction tomorrow, the inclusion of MicroStrategy in the index would be extremely positive news. It would provide significant bullish momentum due to the passive inflows this asset would attract from funds and investors replicating the index. So yes, the inclusion of MicroStrategy in the Nasdaq would undeniably be a very positive development. Let's analyze Bitcoin now and take a look at why we still consider this defense zone we're highlighting here so crucial. But first, let's look at Ethereum, because it's giving us some incredibly key information. As we saw recently, Ethereum came to recognize this market extreme, which is none other than the previous all-time high level we're expecting to eventually break to the upside. Switching to the 1-hour chart, we can see this wedge here. This wedge has been broken, and notice how it happened with significant strength, once again marking and respecting this defense zone, which gave us that strong upward push. This formed a new structure for us. Why is this important? Often when a wedge breaks, it usually leads to the formation of a process. So here we believe a process is forming. Over time, this same process will let us know when it's ready to aim for that breakout we've been seeking to the upside and break through this recent market extreme. However, I must reiterate, we'll be paying special attention to this defense zone. These are key areas, and we'll be closely watching for price reactions here. Now, let's move on to the BNB chart. But before we dive in,
welcome to Crypto Insight, your ethical and moral channel for cryptocurrency technical analysis. Here, we really know what we're talking about. We conduct advanced technical analysis that has been developed for over 12 years. We upload videos several times a week. If you're enjoying what you're seeing, let me know and leave a comment with your opinion. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and click on the bell so you don't miss the next opportunity.
now BNB just like Ethereum, allows us to anchor a defense zone here. This defense zone, of course, will be closely monitored. We'll be watching for the price to reach this level and expecting a reaction when it does. On the other hand, the structure we're observing now is this creek, where we'll also be watching for the development of the process I just mentioned for Ethereum. This could lead to a possible range formation, after which the structure will indicate when it's ready to continue. Solana, for its part, is also at market extremes. Let's not forget that a few days ago it recognized its all-time high. We've been closely monitoring this defense zone and notice how it's been respected and how the price has reacted upwards. Here, we're also analyzing this structure, expecting a potential range formation before continuing to look upwards. Meanwhile, looking at Cardano on the 4-hour chart, we can see how strong its movement has been. It then marked this defense zone, and as long as this zone is respected, meaning as long as the buyers on the left continue to defend their positions, we have no reason to shift our perspective in the opposite direction. This doesn't prevent us from anticipating a possible range formation before breaking through this market extreme I'm highlighting. Polkadot presents a similar scenario. On the 4-hour chart, we can see its significant upward movement, how it clearly marked this defense zone that continues to hold, and how it's battling this market extreme. We're waiting for the price to be ready to break upwards. But first, as with the other assets, we expect a possible range formation. Now let's analyze Bitcoin and the importance of these structures I mentioned at the beginning of the video. But first, let me remind you that registration for our private channel, Crypto Insight Premium, is still open. In this exclusive space, we provide daily live technical analysis of the market, along with updates that we believe are key to staying informed. It's also a place where we share trading ideas and feedback, allowing us to grow as a community and continue learning every day. Signing up is very simple. The requirements are as follows. You need to be a user of BitUnix or BuyDFI, have deposited cryptocurrencies into your BitUnix or BuyDFI accounts with a minimum value of $100, and use this account as your primary futures trading account. In other words, you need to be actively trading. Once you've met these requirements, simply fill out the form displayed on the screen. It consists of just 5 simple questions, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. Don't miss this unique opportunity to become part of our exclusive Crypto Insight Premium community. Come join us, we're waiting for you. Now, let's get back to analyzing Bitcoin. As we know, we're at a market extreme, and I don't need to explain why. It's because we're at all-time highs, and on top of that, Bitcoin's price has managed to break through the significant $100,000 barrier. Looking at the 4-hour chart, we can also see the significant upward movement with explosiveness, similar to what we've observed with other assets. This move has also highlighted a defense zone, a zone we give great importance to because, as you may know, when a defense zone is lost, the price tends to react with significant force. On the other hand, as we saw with Ethereum, we'll be watching for the continuation of a structure to develop here. Therefore, we're also anticipating a potential range formation in this area. Let's not forget the importance of what we analyzed earlier in the video, MicroStrategy. Both Bitcoin and MicroStrategy are highly correlated, so we'll be keeping an eye on how positive news from MicroStrategy could also translate into good news for Bitcoin. Stay tuned tomorrow, and as always, keep a close watch on this key zone as we continue to look upward. If you enjoyed this advanced technical analysis, let me know in the comments. Also, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and click the notification bell so you don't miss future analyses. Share this video with your friends and other trading and crypto communities so more people can grow in their trading journey. Best of luck with your positions and see you next time.